Stop.
All right, I'm going to introduce our speaker tonight. As he comes up here, this is Cesar Ordoñez. He has been doing bonsai for 6 years. He's been studying for 3 of those 6 years under Peter T. We all know him very well. He mainly focuses on what grows well in his area, and just something that happens to grow well in his area is olives. So he's does great work with olives. He collects olives, and yeah, I'll give it to him. Let him take it away and do his little demonstration for tonight.
Yep. Does that work? Hello? Thank you, thank you. So yeah.
Oh, and sorry, one more thing. I just want to point out that this tree on the my far right, your far left, is going to be the raffle tree for tonight. So nice big olive. So buy lots of tickets, and if you're lucky, you get to take it home.
Yep.
All right, go for it, Caesar.
Alrighty. So let's just get started. Nothing really about me since he said basically everything. I've been doing bonsai for 6 years. Started with Peter T. If you ever heard of him. Uh, so yeah, here. I am, and yeah, one of the first things I noticed, not first things, but it took me probably 2 to 3 years where I'm at is I started noticing how all these trees that I wanted that I saw in bonsai just weren't liking it with me, right? Everything was dying. So that kind of started this thing where I started looking out to what really grows in my area, right? My area, so I live an hour east of Fresno, California, like 45 minutes, 40 minutes from Sequoia National Forest, and it gets pretty hot. Okay, so we get about 110, 115 for a whole month. And so not much grows out there, nothing but hopes and dreams. And so I just kind of looked for stuff that I liked it out there. And I kind of didn't realize when I first moved out there that there was olives out there. I didn't really know much about olives before bonsai. I didn't know much about trees. Period. I didn't really care for them. And now, like, I'm all about it, right? Every time I'm driving down the street, it's like I know what this tree is, so it's pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, so I looked around and noticed that where I live is nothing but agricultural land, and there was olive groves back in the day, just everywhere. Olive was like a big thing back in the day. We talking like 10, 15, 20 years ago, because I moved out there around 15 years ago, and there was tons of olive groves, and there's not nearly as many anymore. It's just, anyways, this is what's left over basically. I go around old olive groves, orange citrus grows, almond grows, anywhere around the area, and literally walk the rows and look for what I see is just shoots like this. Most of these trees, believe it or not, are like probably this in the ground. So this is what you see, and you just go for it. And most of the time it's okay, and half the time they suck. But we do what we can. So today I'm gonna show you guys kind of sort of what I do or what you should do if you yourself dig out an olive or you or any other tree that's kind of sort of works the same way. Um, this tree right here, I'll start with this one because this one I dug it out last year and I decided to keep it. If you guys could see it, it's actually a pretty cool trunk. There's nothing there's no flat cuts on it, there's no chops on it. The little bit of dead wood that it has here on the side is actually pretty cool. Like, it's not flat or anything, it's actually pretty cool. One of the coolest things about this tree is that it has branches literally all the way to the top, like the top as you could go. So one of the reasons I kept it, because not they don't all pop from the top, right? So yeah, I have different stages. So I'm kind of just gonna go and walk through, and of course, if you guys got any questions, just shoot them, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. I'm no expert, but I know quite a bit about olives because, dude, not only do they grow great in my area, but they're pretty badass to work on in terms of they can handle some work. You know what I mean? And they usually bounce right back up. So this is kind of sort of what's gonna happen here. This, like I said, I dug out last year. I decided to keep it, so I actually put it in this colander and in good soil this spring. So this is new. This one I decided to keep last year. This is a little show hand. I brought something smaller to work on because I'm not the fastest worker, so I wanted to make sure I had time to finish. And this one I basically did what I'm gonna do to this big one last year, like during the fall, maybe almost close to winter. Um, so basically, it blew out kind of like this, just randomly, and I picked a couple branches that I wanted to start making the primary structure of the tree: first, second, back branch, third, fourth. And so today I'm gonna take the wire off. Actually, I should have took this wire off a little while ago. It's not super dug in, but I blame you guys. I wanted to wait to this demo to take it out. So and yeah, so let's just get started. This is my logo tree, and I don't think I'm gonna do much to it. I just brought it just because it's my logo tree, and I feel like I need his support today. You know what I mean? And yeah, this tree I've been working on for about 3 to 4 years, and I did it all these stages already a couple times. So today we're gonna still see what's up with this tree because it's still not done, and it's a different stage of its life. You know what I'm saying? 3 years down the road from this. So let's just get started, cause and as I'm doing it, we'll talk a little bit about this demo tree that I got. This one I dug out at least a year ago. It must have been early summer last year, and I've had it there. It actually has shoots like really long, and I cut it back in spring, so this is all kind of newer growth. So let's start with this one. I don't know if you guys could see it that well from where you guys are sitting, but you guys have sort of an idea of what could be the front to this tree. Because one of the first things I do when I collect the tree is obviously I look at it. Since it's collected, it's not ready to get worked on, so I have the luxury of not having antsy hands to try to work on it that quick, and I get to literally look at it for a couple months before I even get to touch it. So I've been looking at this tree for a fat minute, and which is one of the reasons I kept it. Um, yeah, you guys have maybe any idea or just kind of a ballpark of what you would like or what you like, huh? This side, why is that?
It's not, yeah. I like the bulge, and then there's like, it looks like some movement, like a
Okay,
zigzag.
she likes the bulge and the movement, and that's valid. You feel me? Let's start off with the fact that we all gonna have different opinions, and honestly, bro, the way I see it, there ain't no wrong opinion because at the end of the day, it's gonna be your tree, and you're the one that's gonna be looking at it, right? We're not all gonna be in the PBE as much as we would like. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying?
I think
So,
the cavernous side looks very interesting also.
what was that?
The cavernous side with the opening on it. Yeah.
Like this?
Little the other way. I'm sorry. Keep going. Yes, like that.
Like right here somewhere.
The cavernous side gives it a little more interest, I think.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Here's something cool that I don't know if you guys could see, and this is pretty cool about this tree, and I didn't find this out until I reported it in this colander. There's a little hole, probably the camera could see it right here. If you guys could see that, you could see through that. This piece I thought was deadwood, right? So I thought, you know what would be cool to repot this tree and keep that like deadwood kind of hanging off the side, kind of sort of. But when I went to repot it, this thing is full of roots. So I don't know. I kind of just repotted it, and we'll see what happens. But it's just kind of something cool. So, anyways, that actually is a very good front. This tree has a lot of good fronts, and I'm kind of going more towards what he said in terms of if you were to pick this front, it does look sick. Okay, me personally, I'm not a huge fan of the bulge. Maybe I'm self-aware a little, but I'd rather just you know what I mean use the backside. But another reason is one of the main things about olives that I like is that sometimes you get real lucky and the deadwood is not half as bad, right? And on olives, I believe you kind of should have a little bit of deadwood on them, most of them. Um, so this one has a little bit of deadwood right here, and I would love to use that. We have the buds up here, so I feel like not exactly how he said it, to where like it's straight up right here. I feel like maybe kind of sort of right here, so where you could see the deadwood, and also a lot of these trees you could have a hard time finding a left and a right branch, right? You'll find a good branch, which is actually kind of cool. This one has this branch, which is probably the one I'm gonna use for a main branch. And that's just how it was when I dug it out, right? I have not wired this at all, but I feel like it wants to be a bonsai. This branch wants to be a part of this tree. So we're just gonna put a little bit of wire and bring this tree down. And see if we were to use this front, there's not really a branch to the right. We could always use a back branch, which is not to me, it's not a huge deal, but it is, right? You don't want a back branch to be one of your main branches. But if we were to just twist this tree a little bit, just like this, we could see more of this deadwood and this branch and this one. They don't come out from the back. You could see them. You could see where they come out from, and you could use them for a main branch more likely. So that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna choose this front. I know none of you guys chose it, but trust me, trust the process, okay? All right. So first thing, olives love to sucker, right? We don't want suckers. We want that energy on the branches that we need. So if we're gonna use this as the front, I could choose between this branch, or this branch as one of my main branches to the right. Which one will you choose? The bottom one or the middle one or the top one? Keep in mind, I gotta bend them down. You know what I'm saying? We gotta put some wire on them and bend them down and out. The top one? The top one. Okay, I'm always going towards the middle. I'll tell you why though, for real, for real. If we were to choose the top one, it's gonna be real hard. You guys can't probably see it. It's growing up. It's growing straight up. So to bring it down, it's gonna look not great. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, I think my hands is just shaking. I'm trying. So yeah, I think we would just have to bend this too much down to where it's gonna make and whatever you call it, a little loop. And this middle one, we could bring it down pretty good, and it's not making that big of a loop. This bottom one is way too low. It's just way too low. It'll kind of get in the way of the feature of the deadwood. So let's just do it. I remember when I first started doing bonsai, before I was serious about it, some random dude told me, bonsai is not for, I'm not sure what word he used, the lighthearted or the faint of heart. He goes, because sometimes you gotta chop some stuff down. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time, the best place to start is from scratch. This, just being honest. You know what I'm saying? It sucks to buy a tree and have to cut stuff off, but it also sucks to have a shitty tree. You know what I mean? Okay, so this is the front. I had said this was gonna be my left branch. Do you guys think this one looks cool? I think it's way too low. It's way too low, and it almost comes off weird. Sure, obviously we're gonna put wire on it, but it just looks super weird. It's coming almost to the front, right? So I'm gonna get rid of all that. The more you do this, the more simple it is in terms of your choices. Now I'm not gonna wire the whole tree out. I'm just gonna kind of sort of show you guys. So this is the branch we want, and it's actually it's a pretty sick branch because, like I said, this is how I collected it. It's coming out like pretty cool, which is kind of weird, but we're gonna use it. And when it's one day when it's show ready, nobody's gonna believe us that that's how I dug it out. You know what I'm saying? So for the for this tree, the raffle tree, I would start off doing the same exact thing. I have been looking at this tree for a couple months already, but whoever gets it is gonna have to look at it for a couple months.
How
It has
deep? How deep did you dig the roots?
how
What
big?
How deep did you?
How
dig it
deep were
up?
the roots when I dug it out?
Yeah. How much of the roots did you dig out?
That's a great question. I don't think I have a great answer because I've dug out a lot of trees, and to be completely honest, I cannot remember exactly how this was. But I will tell you this: I doubt it had a lot of roots. Most of these don't have that many roots. If not, they have just a couple on the or one main taproot with a bunch down there. But yeah, I doubt it had any. Now it does. I had this tree, like I said, for over a year until I decided to keep it, and I'll put it in this pot. It has plenty of roots now. Sometimes
Cesar,
you're lucky when you dig them out and they're full of roots, but it's not that often. All right, so here in the back, I actually cut one off before telling you guys. Cut some off here. We need a back branch, okay? If we're gonna use, let's say, this branch as one of the sides, this branch is too low. You don't want a back branch lower than the lowest branch, right? Technically, right? That's the rules. Personally, I'm not huge on it. You know what I mean? Actually, I was gonna cut this off, but we're gonna leave it. Sometimes when a tree's too big, you might need a couple back branches in the back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this branch is way too low because we're gonna use this branch as a right branch. So I will cut this branch off, and you will leave the one in between the first and the second branch. And if you don't have one, don't even trip on it. Cut. If you don't have one where you want it, and you have a lot where you don't want them, cut them off. Most likely, it will backbud, and you'll get one that you want where you want it. You know what I mean? So for now, we'll leave this one. We'll keep this one, and we'll leave this one to grow, so we could do two. Now we have some branches here up in the front that, to be honest, don't go in the front, right? So we're gonna take off all these in the front because we want to see the tree, we want to see the trunk. I was gonna work on this tree a couple months ago, which is when I probably should have done it. But like I said, I wanted to work on it here. More branches up in the front. We want to keep this branch, so these are just in the way. Plus, it shows the trunk too much. Now, here's one thing that people don't want to do is this, right? We're gonna end up with like 5 branches on this tree at the end of this, okay? And it's gonna suck. Nobody says, it's gonna look pretty, but sometimes you gotta do stuff right. Sometimes you don't, but today I'm getting paid to show you guys how to do it right. I'm not huge on doing everything perfect because at the end of the day, this is supposed to be fun. You know what I'm saying?
Caesar, I have a question from a person on our chat
Oh, okay.
in Zoom. They want to know if you lead trips to collect these trees.
I don't actually. I never thought about that ever. Um, that's a good question, but no, not yet. Not yet. Maybe one day. Cool. Looks a lot more bare, but it looks a lot more better. You can see the trunk. You can see all the dead wood. These I could have cut off, but at the moment I'm gonna leave them. Not sure. I don't think I want both. I just want one, but I definitely want one for not to come straight forward, but we need something in the front because now we're getting up to the apex area, and we don't want all trunk and then how can I explain that? All trunk and then just foliage around it, right? We need up on the third top, we need the full canopy dome looking thing. So I'll leave this. And there's a couple branches here that seem useless because they're going straight up. And we don't want anything going straight up, especially up here close to the apex. So I'm just gonna cut off the ones that are going straight up. And I'm doing it, and I'm not scared because, like I said, this thing is gonna pop back. And I don't want to start off with branches that just don't look good because you're gonna regret it. If there's something that bothers you on your tree and you don't fix it, guess what? In 5 years, it's gonna bother you. And you're gonna want to cut it off in 5 years. So you took 5 years to cut it off and you just wasted time. You feel me? And in bonsai, we can't waste time sometimes. Look how bare this tree is looking now. Not great, okay? But trust me, this is how this is a right beginning, okay? This big branch right here is going straight up, and even if it wasn't, well, if it wasn't, maybe I could use it. But it's going way too up. It's too thick. the bend down is gonna be super awkward on it, so we're gonna cut it off. There's plenty of small branches around it that we could wire down to start making the apex. Matter of fact, there's this one here. It's literally coming out. It's not going up. So if there's one on top of it, I would just cut it off. And I mean, it sucks, but you gotta have the vision. I mean, it's kind of hard, I guess, when you're not kind of picturing what the tree would look like, but I could picture it. Another big branch here that's going up. A lot of these olives actually, when they first blow out, all their branches go up. If I didn't have 600, 700 of these, I could take the time for when they're blowing up to sit there and put wire on them, because that would be a perfect time, right? When they're blowing out, choose your branches and wire them out, and just start growing from there. But I just don't have the time, so I let them blow out and then I cut them back, which is not. I mean, if you have the time, it would be better to do it as soon as they're coming out. And then you don't have these weird loops when you wire branches. All right. Wow. It actually looks better. You can see the tree, you can see the trunk a lot more. Like I said, I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna cut down this top branch just because I don't want the tree to focus on growing upwards right now. I want the tree to focus on growing this branch and maybe the back branch. I'm not really worried about the top at the moment. So I'll just go back. Usually I do go back to 2 leaves. This is, I mean, all of this is gonna go, you know? Now we have 2 branches here that are they're growing crisscross. We don't want both anyway, okay? And which one we're gonna take out? The one that's going up. Because the other one's coming to the side. And just like that, we're done. Now we just gotta wire it. I'll wire this branch down. We need another branch, which might be this little bud. If you can see it, I don't know if you can see. There's a little bud there. I'm gonna let that one grow, and we'll use that for the next branch on top of this one. And these back branches, this one might be more of a back right branch. This one I definitely want to let grow to make the right of the dome of the apex area here. So that's basically what I did to this one a year ago. And I wired it out. So I'm not gonna wire the whole thing out for you guys, but I just to give you a little idea. Now this one branch is super thick compared to the other ones. So there's no other branch to grab onto, as in using the same wire for 2 branches. So we're just gonna grab it onto a piece of deadwood. We might just go all the way around. It's gonna look ugly, but at this point, you don't want it to look nice. We're just barely starting this tree's journey into a bonsai. Anybody got any questions? Oh,
And from Bob?
Yeah. So, how long after you dig them up do you wait to start working on them? Usually, I know like pines and junipers. Sometimes it's like a couple of years, but can you kind of start that work quicker with olives?
oh, I'm definitely not waiting a couple of years. I'll tell you that much. If a tree's healthy, where it's just gonna bust out as soon as I dig it out, I'm working on this thing in 6 months. This has been longer though, but that's only because I wasn't right off the bat. I wasn't sure I'm gonna keep it. If I were to have known, I would have worked on this a lot sooner. But I was just gonna sell it like any other tree until I kind of kept looking at it and decided to keep it. So we're gonna wire this branch. and it's gonna look ugly. But right now, I'm gonna anchor it to this piece of dead wood here.
Stick the wire down into the soil as an anchor.
Well, I could, but I just reparted this tree, and it doesn't have a ton of roots, much less concrete roots to really dig into. Or else I would, but yeah, this is just it's gonna go straight through. On the raffle tree, I would definitely let it blow out just a little more. I mean, you could already wire it out, but I would let it blow out a little more. That way, you could significantly tell how the branches are coming out from where they're coming out for when you choose them. You know exactly how the branch is coming out. Because right now, when they're too young, sometimes I mean you could go off and wire them, but most of the time they might die on you. I'm not gonna lie. So I would just let this blow out, kind of like this long till you start choosing. But you could almost start choosing already. I would do the same thing. Pick the front of this tree and start choosing branches, which is so cool about this tree. This tree has branches all over, literally. So you have enough branches for the left, right, back, front, and all in between. Okay, so we got that wired out.
I know these are Mediterranean plants and they like the heat. Is there a season when you wouldn't collect them?
Good thing you asked that because I don't think so. I'll tell you why. When I was doing this more as a hobby, I would supposedly not want to collect during winter, right? Because I kind of find out that they love the heat, and when I would dig them out when it's 100 and plus degrees, they literally do not care, right? In a month, they're popping up and they're doing their thing. So I always had this thing where like I didn't want to dig out in winter because I thought they wouldn't make it. Until this year, I kind of have a business going now, and I thought if I don't collect during winter, that's 3 months of not trees that I'm not gonna have. So, I told my dad because my dad's a big help. Let's just try it, and this year we will find out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you what, 80-90% of the trees made it, and I did not stop digging all year, all winter, all summer, just nonstop. I mean, not nonstop, but as long as I find them. Yeah, I have shade cloth on all my trees, all of them. Yeah. Right now, I have 40%, but that's because now that I'm actually there, I'm able to water them as much as they need to. If I really had a job, I probably would do like 60% because it's like hot. You know what I mean? So you really need to water in the summer. But right now, I have them at 40%, and they don't trip. The bigger olives, I have big olives. A lot of them are out in the sun, and like in the full sun, no shade cloth whatsoever, and they're just trucking. They don't really care. Mostly the smaller pots, I just try not to. And I'm not the fastest worker, but this is not hard work. Okay, anybody could do this. Pick 3 branches and literally put a wire on them. Come on. Yeah. From my experience, most of them reduce. And it really matters if you have them in a small pot. The biggest leaf olives that I have are in big pots like this. But see, even this one, it's not that big. So there's only a couple that grow like really big. Matter of fact, one of them is fruiting right now. and it's the only one that have that fruit that has fruited.
So, Caesar, if I can't collect an olive and I want an olive, and you said 600, how do I get in touch with you to maybe purchase one?
Well, I'm on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, but like my friend once said, that one's not for the lighthearted. And my name is just Sencow Bonsai on everything, literally Sencow for Central California. And you could always check out. I actually don't post like trees for sale. I just post stuff that I work on. But just hit me up on there, and yeah, I have people hit me up all the time. So I just be sending pictures and stuff. I don't have a website or anything yet. Yeah, I post on Bonsai auctions sometimes, but well, I'll tell you guys the truth. Just hit me up instead. Don't buy from the Bonsai auctions. No, but I tend not to. My best trees, I do not post on the auction. I'll just leave it at that.
We did just make a online resources page on the website, and we listed all our vendors who were at the show in April, and Cesar was one of them. So we have, if you go to online resources and look down to the vendors, his name's down there and the link to his Instagram's there, and you can message him.
Cool, that works. I need to make new business cards because I ran out. So right now I'm just wiring down the branches that I said I was gonna wire. And nothing's ever final. I hope this tree back buds or buds out another branch that I could use as the right. That kind of comes off. It's gonna be hard because all this is dead. But I wouldn't mind if something came off from the same level, just a little more this way. Dude, even if I've been growing this branch for 2 years and then I see that it buds out closer to this side, I'll cut it off and use this one instead. Because when you're looking at it from the front, it looks cool. It doesn't look bad, but I would like it to be a little closer still to the front. But sometimes, with collected material, you just gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean?
Caesar, can I follow up on the a comment about the leaf size? Can you talk about reducing leaf size by defoliating the canopy of a mature olive?
Okay. I personally have never defoliated for leaf size. The only times I've done it, and I've done it on this tree and another tree that I have, is just to make sure I don't need to cut something off or wire something that's like maybe getting in between or something. But in terms of defoliating for small leaf size, I don't. I'll tell you why. Once you put them in small pots and you keep pruning them back like you kind of do or you should, it's just very hard or not likely to get any bigger. It's gonna keep going down. This tree, and this tree, my logo tree and this tree I've had for what, 4 years? And matter of fact, this year, just this probably like the biggest size I've ever seen the leaf. But that's because I've been letting it blow out right now because I was gonna work on this for the demo. But I never do nothing special. They really do reduce leaves by themselves.
Caesar, do you just dig all your trees? Do you ever do air layering, cuttings, or seed?
Never. I mean, I would, but it's hard for me to get myself to grow a cutting when I could just go dig one out. Dude, but that's another thing. It's surprising because this tree is not that big. This tree is probably a lot older than we think. So, and even if I wanted to, let's say this tree is only 10 years old. Let's just say it's 20, 30 years old. In 20, 30 years old, I'll never grow this. like from a seed, right? It's gonna be something a lot smoother. Maybe one day. I do try to take cuttings off different trees and it never works out. And if I accidentally, because I have done it before, to where I'm taking cuttings off other trees, and just to mess around, I'll clip an olive. Dude, only the olive would take. I can't get any other tree to take from cuttings. I just don't have a good green thumb, maybe. Okay, I'm just gonna wire these 2 branches out now. I'm not really worried whatsoever about if the wire looks ugly on the tree right now. I kind of care less. I'm not gonna go show this tree right now. This tree's going straight home and sitting on a bench for a couple of years. You feel me?
Are you finding these in existing olive orchards, or are these in like other orchards that have been plowed over and these are the survivors?
Yeah, most of the time, like 80% of the time, yeah, it's like that. It's not an olive grove. Maybe at one point it was, but yeah, there's just not many olive groves. And actually, I think it's probably because the olive groves, they actually not that they maintain them, and the citrus groves they don't, but I feel like maybe they're more onto looking for olives that are just growing randomly, opposed to citrus groves. I actually worked in agriculture for 13 years for a citrus grower. I was a ranch manager, and let me tell you, I did not care if I saw an olive. It's just, you know what I'm saying? They don't care. So most of these are from citrus groves. Most of the citrus groves, a couple almond groves, a couple canals, a couple ditches, but mostly citrus groves is where I get my olives from.
Got another question here.
hmm
What type of soil are you putting them in?
So for the trees that I keep, I'm using kind of like a 70-30, 70 akadama and 30 lava, mostly because it's so hot. And I'm still experimenting with that in terms of my personal trees, but right now that's what I'm doing, 70 and 30. The olives that are not for me are just in straight up potting soil. I don't have the money to use akadama on all of them.
And another question from the chat.
Yeah, we have a question from our Zoom audience. What kind of fertilizer do you prefer?
On my stuff that's growing, that's not that I haven't been developing, I use kind of sort of like an Apex type, slow release. I don't know what you would call it, like Osmocote, slow release type. This little, matter of fact, you can see it on my pot. This little green, yellow balls. I just find it easier because I don't gotta sit there and fertilize all the time. I could kind of forget about it. It's supposed to last 9 months. For my trees that I've been working on the most, like that one, you could actually see I use nothing but bio gold, those little triangle things. I don't want them to grow too much when they're like that. Okay, I'm not gonna leave this tree perfect because I want to get down to the next one, but this is kind of sort of. Matter of fact, this one I could almost cut back, but I'm gonna let it grow for now.
Cesar, another question.
When you transitioned over to the colander, did you bare root it when you went from potting soil to the 70-30?
Yeah, basically. Not strictly, like that's not what I was going for. You know what I'm saying? But that's definitely something you want to do, if that makes any sense. Like I wasn't sitting there like, yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, this had been collected, like this has been in a pause since I collected it for a year at least. And then now I did this, you know?
Do it in.
Oh man, I have pictures of it 2 months ago, maybe? Yeah, this big branch here, it needs to go more lower. So I'm gonna bring it down with the guy wire, but I'll do that not today or not here. I'll just tell you guys what I'm talking about. This branch, it's cool, but it'll be a lot cooler if it was a lot lower. And I mean, I guess I could put a thicker wire on it, but there's no point when you could just literally put a thin ass wire and just bring it down with, you know. I already have it wired to where it's not completely coming off straight. I was able to move it down a little, but not enough. So I just put a little guy wire, bring it as low as I can, which it could go pretty low still. And matter of fact, I need to bring it down from here. So if the front's this branch is not horrible, but it's not great. But it's a collected tree, and this is what we got. You know what I'm saying? You gotta work with what you got sometimes and just make the best out of it. And you know, I mean, it's a start. Okay, it doesn't look like much, and it's not supposed to. I mean, bonsai doesn't take a day, sadly. And let's just say this was the same tree, okay? This is probably, well, I mean, these things grow. When it's hot, they grow. So in about 2 months, I'll probably work on this again. Maybe a month and a half, depends how it grows. I kept 2 trees when I kept this one and a bigger one. I worked on the bigger one already when I repotted this tree. So that was 2 months ago, and that thing is just blown up again. So it takes about 2 months. So let's just say in 2 months, this is the tree. Okay, the wire we put on it, starting to dig in. See this little tree, I'm making a little show hand out of it. I wired down some branches, wired out this main branch also here. I don't think I want it too thick because the tree is not thick itself. So I think it would look real dumb if we got some thick ass branches, but the trunk is just kind of, it's okay, you know? So I might almost leave it like that how it is. I might not. But we'll take off the wire real quick. At this point, it's basically the primary branches that we did there. And we're still gonna mess with a couple more primary branches on this stage, on the second stage, but we're already gonna start messing with wiring some secondary branching, you know? I'm a big fan of Shohin, or maybe like medium size. Like this size is good for me. I'm not a big fan of needing help to move trees. It's just not fun to me. And I don't have the help. It's just me. So why struggle carrying 1 tree when you could carry 3? This little wire don't want to come off. Cool. We took the wire off. And this thing blew out pretty cool, actually. I don't know. Whoever could see this tree, you think this branches should be a little thicker? Just a little bit? This branch, you know, in a perfect world, and who knows how I wake up feeling that day, if it's a perfect world or not, I will wire this down still a little more. I just don't like how it's coming. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of doing this. It would be a little better if it did this. Look a lot better, actually. And this is something I noticed. I used to be in the car scene. I used to be into cars, all kinds of cars. And one thing I noticed about the car scene, and it's something I noticed about bonsai, it's all about the details. Sometimes you do a little tweak, and nobody's gonna know what tweak you did, but that's what makes it. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta buy a brand new engine. You just gotta put some rims on it sometimes. You know what I mean?
So what do you do when the engine breaks, Caesar?
Oh
That's my
man,
question.
go dig out another one or hit me up. Okay, cool. So there's a little branch that started growing up here in the front, which I definitely don't want. This is actually a pretty cool tree for the size that it is. I have this branch that started blowing out here, which is a perfect branch. Perfect branch to wire out and keep going with this tree. I'm gonna let this branch grow a little more, maybe not all year. I feel like if I leave this all year, it's gonna thicken up a lot. So maybe half a year, and this one almost the same thing. We have a branch that's going straight up. Could we wire it down? Yeah, we can, but it looks super goofy. You know what I mean? We got that loop again, and we don't like loops. So I'll just cut it completely off. Matter of fact, if you could see where I cut it off, there's a little branch right here that's coming more to the left. That's literally a perfect branch. And guess what we have on top? Another perfect branch. It's that simple, guys. I didn't do that. This is how the tree is growing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta put a little attention and a little bit of wire, and the tree's there. This front, this one and this is coming from the same branch. Okay? All we need to do is put a wire on that, bring it down like this. Okay? Maybe let it grow, but I don't think I'm gonna let it grow because we're already getting towards the apex area. Remember, this is gonna be a small tree, and I don't want that to be too thick up there. So maybe wire this down. It's already got the, what's that word, bifurcation. Cut it back and start already kind of building that a little pad there. We have another branch here that's going up. We don't need it. It's pretty cool. Like once you do this often, you realize that all you gotta do is pay attention sometimes. And trees kind of make themselves. All you gotta do is give them a little push. I mean, at least olives do. I'm talking olives. Olives are fairly easy. Okay, so we're gonna want this branch. I'm gonna wire this branch down. Definitely don't want it any thicker than that. We're gonna wire this branch down here. Definitely, matter of fact, that's almost too thick, but we're gonna leave it like that for now. So we cut it back. I still need to wire it, but I'm cutting it back now. This little small one, we cut it back. We still want to focus this tree to grow these branches out first. The top is we working on it as we go. This one I'm also gonna wire down, and we're gonna kind of move it a little bit towards the front, just a little bit, not much though, just a little bit towards the front. And I really don't like how thick this branch is. It doesn't look that thick, but we're already at the apex of the tree. You know, I'm not gonna cut it all the way off, which maybe I should, but for now we're just gonna cut it really back and see what happens. If it backbuds down lower, I'm just gonna cut the whole thing off because I don't like how it looks. And dude, bro, this will be a nice tree, believe it or not. Whether you see it, I'll keep you guys posted. You know, I'll post this tree throughout this year. This little tree will be really nice. It's trippy, yeah. For the size, this is another thing that I like about collecting these olives. When I find stuff this small, most of the time, some of them are shady, they're not that great. when I find some these small, the character that these have, you'll never get in that small size if you grow it or if you even try to do it. You know what I mean? It's just they're just randomly growing and it just happens that way. Also, we don't want branches that are coming back towards the tree. We completely don't need those. Everything needs to everything needs to grow towards the outside of the tree. Cool. Now we just need to put some wire on this tree, wire some branches down, and slowly but surely, it's coming along. It doesn't look great right now because it's not supposed to. You know what I mean? Because everybody see that kind of sorta. The back of the tree, sadly, we didn't get any of the back branches to blow out right now. But now that I cut it back, they should definitely blow out for a back branch because I don't have right now. I don't have much of a back branch. It could be either this one or even maybe this one, depending on how they blow out. But dude, bro, it's a nice tree. Now I could wire it, or I don't know how we're doing on time. We're good? Okay, well then let's just wire it. These branches, I'm going to wire both again. Okay. At this point, I'm wiring these two branches, not the main branch that these two branches are coming out of, because that's what I just took off. Right. I had them down, and it stood down. It stayed down. The branch is not going up; it's staying down. So now we're just gonna wire these branches down a little, because we're gonna let them grow just a little before we cut them back. Shout out to Bob for the wire.
Can I ask a question? Did you actually dig out that tiny little stump, or was that part of a bigger stump?
Every tree that I have here was by themselves. I do have trees that were part of trees, but believe it or not, I don't have that many. Mostly because it just doesn't excite me. I'm not the best carver. I'm not really that great at carving yet. I want to learn. So it just doesn't excite me to cut a tree in half or in 4 pieces and then have to deal with a flat cut in the back that I didn't know what to do with. You know what I mean? So thankfully we've been lucky that we just find trees that are growing by themselves. Not to say I haven't got any of the other ones. I would imagine most people have an olive here. Sometimes I'll let you guys in on a little secret. Sometimes this is not. Don't think this is good practice though. This might actually not be good. Sometimes when I'm wiring a tree, you know how you learn when you're wiring a tree, when you finish off the wire, the branch, you make a little loop or you make something to where you can't really see the end of that wire where you cut it off. Dude, when I'm working on a tree, especially like this, where I've just barely started doing anything to it, I don't cut no tips off. I'll tell you why. Matter of fact, I leave maybe even longer than this. I leave a little like wire coming out because when they blow out and I have hundreds of trees, I don't have the time to look through the foliage to see if or to find the wire. Where the point is, where bro, I could just literally see it from far and start taking that out. You know what I mean? Because bro, I'm not gonna show this tree anytime soon. And maybe you shouldn't do that.
Just a reminder, if you have a question, I ask that you please raise your hand so I can see you. Thank you.
Sometimes it's really fun to wire out the smaller branches. And sometimes we don't wire the smaller branches, and then the whole tree or the whole silhouette is just not looking great just because you decided not to wire these tiny branches that you maybe thought were too small. But we're talking Shohin right now. Dude, you gotta wire out the small branches. And that's another thing actually that I do. Another thing that you probably shouldn't do is I tend to use a lot of copper wire on my Shohin just cause since they're so small and it's super hard to get in there, you use a much thinner wire to do what you can do with an aluminum wire, and it's a lot easier to get in between all the little branches and everything with a smaller, a thinner wire.
Question from our chat audience, our Zoom audience. Can he talk about the pot? I'm not sure which pot.
I'm guessing maybe this one is the only pot that I have here. I mean this one, but we'll talk about both. This is a very cheap pot that I got like 20 or 30 of them at once. Believe it's from Korea or something, but I'm guessing you're talking about this one because this one is a nice pot. And this is from, don't mind the wire here. This was not here before I came, or I mean, a couple days ago. I just put it because I'll let you guys know why. No. Chamberlain, what's her first name? Vicky Chamberlain. Shout out to her, dude, because she's a solid lady. Okay, I met her at the expo, and long story short, this is one of the pots I got from her, and it was Sunday at the expo, the first expo. She's packing up her pots, right? And I had looked at some of her pots during the expo, and just like how we all do, I didn't buy the pot right off the bat, like the one that I liked. So towards the end, I'm looking for it, right? She's like almost empty. I'm like, dude, do you still have this one pot, whatever? She probably has no idea which pot I'm talking about. And she actually did, but it was like very under a box of pots she was already packing up to leave. And dude, you know, I kind of said it just to mess around, and I told her, I was like, dude, you don't want to take those pots home. I was like, dude, I'll give you $100 for that box. You know what I'm saying? And I just said it just cause, bro. If you're listening, bro, I will never forget you. Um, and dude, I thought she wouldn't take it, and she literally stopped packing, and she's like, give it to me. And I was like, what? It was like 8, 9 pots. That one was one of them. Some of them were pretty sick. And dude, I don't know if this is just me, but I don't think she's been selling lately as much. So that was like the last time that she was like, dude. So I got super lucky, and I got some sick pots. And this is the only one that I've used so far. But you guys could guess what kind of trees I'll put in them. Yeah, I really do like Shohin a lot. I'm a huge fan. It's kind of what got me into bonsai to begin with. Seeing a small tree, I didn't even know you could do big trees until I saw. So I never been a huge fan of big trees. Like I said, I think it's a lot funner. I think it's a lot funner to, especially before I had a regular job. I had no time to do my bonsai. It's a lot funner to get home and be able to work on 2, 3, 4 bonsai than take 2, 3 days to work on a big ass tree. Another thing I like about olives um is you could work on them like a juniper, and I wouldn't say like a deciduous tree, but you could work on them like a juniper or like a conifer in terms of super drop down branches, or let's say you have a huge piece of deadwood. You know, when you have a juniper, you just kind of squiggle some lines and make a canopy somewhere. A lot of people, especially in is it Spain, they work on them like junipers, right? They got these pads everywhere, and you know, I don't have that many like that. So you could work on them like junipers. People work on them like junipers, especially I think it's mostly if you have great deadwood. Or you could also work on them almost like a deciduous tree, right? Dude, just these 4, 5, 6 branches, and you can see what you see what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's not me just talking, just talking. It's right here. And I mean, we still got a couple more wires to go. Okay. Quick little recap on just this tiny show hand before I move on to the next one. If you could see it, I just now noticed that there's a screen behind me. Check that out. Something like that. I still have back branches I need to wire down, but I was gonna get onto the next tree. Wire these back branches down just a bit, but you can already see where the tree is going. I wire down these side branches down to continue the silhouette of the bottom first branches. We got this one here. This one's still, I'm really iffy about it, and I hate that because, like I said earlier, if something bothers you now, it's gonna bother you later. And whether you develop that branch and it's gonna take you 2, 3 years, and then you're still gonna look at that branch and like not be 100% happy with it, that would kind of suck. So I'm almost tempted to cut it all the way off. I know earlier I said I wasn't, and I was gonna let it back bud. So for now, I guess I'm gonna play it safe and just wait for it to let it back bud. But I would rather cut this off. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's very thick, and I don't need nothing thick up here. Matter of fact, up here now I just need fine branches. Okay, we're gonna start making the apex now. It's been a year and a half. Now we could kind of start messing more with the apex and the tree. And yeah, this tree will look pretty sick in a little pot someday. Um, yeah, that's kind of it for this tree. That was a year and a half. Okay. So now this tree. This is a tree. I really like this tree. I've had this tree for 3, 4 years, and I did exactly what I just showed you when I got it. You know, I chopped it all down, left maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 branches at first. It looked really bare and not great, but slowly but surely we did what we did with this, right? Those branches, those main branches grew. You can see it. We got main branches. I don't want to drop all my soil. The main branches grew. We chopped them back. They back budded into 2 or more, 3, 4, 5. But we picked 2, right? We want to keep going with the outline of the tree. So I picked 2. I wired it down, just like we did with this one right now. And I did that probably twice on this tree already. But even though it's been 3 to 4 years, there's still a lot of work to do with this tree, okay? Last October, I think it was, or something, I did a demo down south, and I used this tree in the demo. Back at that time, this tree had a big hole right here. It looked nice and full everywhere else, but here it was just empty, and you could see right through it. There was no branch, no nothing. And I was waiting for something to back bud, which at that time there was this small branch coming out of here, which I wired out. And maybe early this spring, I cut it off. I didn't want it too thick. I wanted this first branch down here to the left to be thicker than this back branch. So I cut it off, and I didn't wire it actually because I wanted to wire it here. And if you guys could see, like I just said earlier, when you cut off a branch, you're not always going to get 2 branches. You know what I mean? You're going to get 3, 4, 5 branches. And that's exactly what happened to this branch here. I cut it off, and we got 1 branch, 2 branch, 3 branch, and 4 branch. One coming out to like a weird angle. And we're going to pick 2. This one's very easy to cut. It's coming down, like it's literally coming down from the branch. It's not coming to the side or even up. It's literally coming down, which just it doesn't look great. We want the branches to come out neither up or down, sideways, or on the sides. This branch is a little not great. It's coming upwards. This branch is perfect. It's coming out. Now I blame you guys again. If I didn't have this demo, I would have wired this branch when it was younger, and it would have been perfect. But I thought, hey, it's a learning experience, right? So what we could do is wire it out and try to see if we can make it look good, which I think I can, which is why I left it, or else I wouldn't have done it for you guys. I would have just wired it because it sucks to waste time, and that's why I think sometimes it's better to start from scratch. If you start from scratch now, it's a lot quicker to make a tree than if you start from scratch in 5 years when you realize you didn't do it right. That's 10 years now. You know what I mean? Which, has nothing to do with age. I'm barely 30 years old, but I have no idea if I have 10 more years. You know what I'm saying? We never know. So if we could do it right now, the quicker we could get there. You want a nice tree, right? Would you like a nice tree in 5 years or 10 years? 5 years sounds better. So I'm gonna chop off the other branch that's going inside of the tree because we definitely don't need that. And I'm gonna wire out these branches, both of them. So now we cut down the branch. So this is, even though this is 4 years on this tree that I've been working on, this branch is what, a year and a half or 2 years, right? Because we're right here with that branch. This one, I'm gonna let it grow for 6 more months and cut it off. And so that's where we're at with this one. I let it grow, I cut off the branch. There's 4 branches that came out of it that popped up, and I let them grow for not a long time, but as long as, I mean, dude, if you could wire it when it's like as young as you can and you feel confident you're not gonna break it, the sooner the better. You know what I'm saying? But I let them grow just a little bit, get a little bit thick. That way you're not risking it breaking, or the branch might even die if it's too young and you wire it down. So I'll wire this down real quick. Oh, actually, before I do that, because I'm about to cut off this ugly guy wire that I have here. It looks ugly because I really don't care how it looks, as long as it gets the job done for now. Just like I said, I had a blank spot here. I had a little blank spot right here on this tree. Simple fix, okay? Simple fix. There's a branch coming out. I literally just put a guy wire on it and just brought it down. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's this little branch right here. So there used to be nothing in that tree, but now there is, just because of a guy wire. So I'm gonna take it off. It's only been there for like a month, so it definitely didn't take. I'll just put it back again. Trip on that. It didn't even move. It's been on there for like a month, and it held its place, bro. I mean, that's not me. That's the olive. These scenes, bro. If you know what I'm saying, if you love it, it'll love you back. That was 1 month. I actually did not know that was gonna happen. That was 1 month, and it stayed in place, which is kind of crazy. Will it always stay in place? Probably. This thing's not moving anymore. Wow. Actually, now I'm just gonna cut it back. So I cut off that branch that I had the guide wire down. It already did this. We already let the branch grow to the thickness we want. We don't want it too thick, because at this point this is the lower of the apex now, the bottom of the apex. So we don't want that too thick, right? So I cut it back to 2 branches down to 2 leaves. We're gonna start making a pad now. Simple. We might might wire the little branches in the future, but we just might not. This might just be a clip and grow. We're talking just this little branch right now. That's where we're at. The whole tree is a different story, which the whole tree is almost clip and grow already. You know what I mean? But there's still a couple branches we're wiring out still. Yeah, that's pretty cool that that branch stayed. I was not expecting that. No, thank you. And yeah, dude, I mean, no matter how long, I mean, I'm hoping this tree in about 2 years, there's definitely gonna be no wire in this tree no more. Nothing but clip and grow. Could I have done it sooner? 100%. This is 4 years. I could have been here last year, but last year I had no time or luxury to work on my own trees. I was trying to start my little business, and believe it or not, it takes some work. And I just sadly did not have time for any of my personal trees. And it showed, dude, because a lot of my trees just, they weren't dying or anything. I mean, I was taking care of them. I just wasn't working on them. And I lost so much time. A year is a long time, okay? This tree that I worked on at first, like I said earlier, I think I mentioned it. I kept 2 trees that day. This one and another one that's kind of similar but bigger. I ended up working on that big tree the same time, and dude, that thing is blown out by now. So in 2 months, this tree would have been blown out and almost worked on twice instead of one. So imagine if I didn't do anything in a whole year. I lost just hella time, and sometimes you gotta get to work and make the best out of it. So this branch, I had wired it. I put it in place where I want it. And now we're gonna wire out the branches to start ramifying that one branch.
Caesar, do you always do the traditional pine branching, or have you experimented with any like broom style or anything wild?
Um, on olives or just period?
Just yeah, on olives.
On olives. So the question was, do I always do like the typical branching?
Like, have you done like broom style?
Yeah,
or,
not
like,
on an
anything
olive.
else?
No,
Yeah.
no, I haven't. Mostly because I haven't came across a trunk that I'm like, dude, that's gotta be a broom style. It's just sure there's a lot of straight up olives, but just because the tree's straight doesn't mean there could be a nice broom. And it's not that I don't like it. I have a broom style tree, but it's an elm tree. I mean, that's definitely something I might try one day, but I haven't yet. Now, these branches actually might not need to be this long anymore. So we're gonna cut them back. I kind of wired them out, but I mean, I don't want them to thicken up anymore. Much less the branch that I already cut off. I cut it off for a reason. I don't need it any thicker. So I'm gonna cut both of these branches back. We'll cut it back to two leaves. Sometimes if you want to be safe, I'll do 4 leaves, or 4 internodes. I don't know how you want to say it, but dude, this tree, at least this tree, obviously I know it's super healthy. I've been working on it for a while, or taking care of it for a while, so I'm not really tripping on it. And definitely don't wire a branch and then cut it. Don't be like me. Okay, I wired both of the branches. I'm just gonna make sure one of these, they're both going out. We don't want anything trying to grow back towards the tree. That just is not right. And it's simple. Okay, so I got these branches wired out, kind of sort of where I want them. You can't see them from there because I cut them off. But after a while, well, these will backbud. Okay, the tree's super healthy right now. I've been feeding it pretty well, so they'll backbud, and we'll start filling in this area here. That well, right now it doesn't look too blank, but you could see how it was super blank. There was literally nothing there before. Dude, it takes some time, but slowly but surely, you you'll get the tree you want. And so now, like I said, a lot of these branches are already, I had wired them out, I cut them back, I wired them out again. I'll go in here and just kind of take off the leaves, all the leaves that are going down. This could look a little more cleaner. These two, should I wire these down? I just might. Probably wire these down. 1, 2, 3. Just so that I could wire these, kind of on top. On top, but not really on top. Kind of like I don't know how to explain it. Not like a juniper, but it's gonna be on top of it's gonna be like a pad on top of a pad for this tree. Okay, every tree is different, and this tree, this is just the way I was doing it. I'm not too crazy or too what's that word? Too strict with the way I do trees. Well, first of all, I'm not like a super professional, but I don't know, bro. I don't take life too serious sometimes, you know?
Hey, Caesar, I do have a question. This might sound silly, but of all the olive trees that you grow, do any of them flower? And if they do, what do you do with the flowers?
I only have one literally at the moment right now that's going to fruit, and it's a big one, bigger than this, but like in a box like that. There's a big difference on the ones that flower or fruit than these. These two, this one, and probably that one, most likely is never gonna fruit because these, like I said, I found these growing by themselves, and it seems to be like maples when they drop leaves and all these maples grow, they don't all grow the same, right? So I believe these are all just kind of like
What you would compare to a seedling, in a
yeah.
sense, right?
So these don't fruit. Just yeah, from seed. So only like big olives that I've collected, they'll seed. I mean, yeah, they'll fruit because they were a fruiting olive at one point or part of one. These are literally growing by themselves out in the wild. And don't be scared of wire because wiring is kind of fun. And if you're starting a tree and you don't wire, it's going to be very hard to get a nice looking tree. Not that it's not possible, but I don't think it is. if you really put in the time and effort for like a shohin sized tree, and I'm talking kind of more olive because I know how, especially with you guys, the weather's like almost the same with as mine. Dude, you could get a killer tree in like 3-4 years. You'll have a sick tree. I have a tree that I worked on for 2 years exactly, and it's coming along so good. But it's because I actually kind of took the time to pay attention to it. Dude, 4 years seems like a long time, but it really ain't. In 4 years, you'll be sitting there in your garden looking at the tree thinking, damn, I should have done it right the first time. So there, I kind of wire these 3 branches out. And again, I haven't cut them back, mostly just to show you guys kind of how the branches look or like how they're coming out. But I'm going to cut these back because at this point, we're trying to make the pad here. You know, I had these other branch here that I was thinking of making the pad with, but it didn't even grow. If it grows, we could still use it because it's not coming out from. If you look from the bottom, they're all coming from different spots. It's like a good it's not one branch and there's 5 branches coming from one branch. This is good. It's literally like this. It's like this, and there's another one over here, and this one's separate from those. So if I'm able to grow this out, I'll use it as well for the pad. And now some of the branches we're just gonna cut back and promote them to grow. If there's branches that are growing back, because branches will stay just blowing out and growing back on the tree. Cut them off. I have a lot. Most of these branches was already wired, so now I'm just going in here and cutting them back. So, dude, in the beginning, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a lot of wire, but let's say it was. Let's say you had a lot of branches. It might suck. You're gonna be there what 2 hours wiring a tree. It's not the end of the world. In 2-3 years, 4 years, if you do it right, the point is not to wire. Not to wire. You'll never do that again. Hopefully. Right? That's just one time that you should do it. And once you get the structure going, the secondaries, you won't touch the first. You do the secondary branching, cut those off, maybe the third, but at that point you're almost just cutting. You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm gonna cut it back, you're gonna see the 2 branches that I was talking about earlier, how there was a gap there. But now no more. Now we got branches there, and we're gonna start developing those branches. So we're gonna fill in that area. Dude, this tree's gonna be looking sick. You better watch out. Not the next one, but I'm thinking one of these PVEs coming up. We're gonna have a all olive Shohin display. So be ready. I'm hoping to get a lot of like kind of similar ones. You know that dude that's coming, Soothing or whatever. I know I can't remember if it was last year or like 2 years ago. I know he went to the nationals and did a bunch of I think it was ficuses, I think. And they were all like sumo looking like things, and they were all kind of similar, and everybody was like amazed at it. And I think it's pretty cool to sure you're used to showing 7 different types of trees in one box. I mean, what's so bad about showing the same tree, same type of tree? You know? I mean, at the end of the day, this is supposed to be for fun, bro. If you ain't having fun, bro, I mean, go to church or something. Like, there's a branch that started growing towards, kind of towards the trunk, not towards the trunk, but like going this way. You see this branch right here? We don't want that. We need branches going out, not in. I I'm taking that whole branch off completely. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I am. See, now we can see the trunk a lot more. These should also be cut back. I have this weird this weird thing about me that like I'll leave little like if there's like not a branch, like if there's a branch coming out and there's only like two little leaves, I'll just leave it. Like I don't know, I just think it looks cool, right? Is that right to do? Probably not. But who cares, bro? Most of you are not even gonna go to my garden to see it. You know what I mean? It's just for me to look at, and there's just buds. I don't let it thicken out. Once it starts growing, obviously I cut it back because you're gonna get a branch there. But I just like to leave it. But for now, I'll cut it back. We have another branch here that's kind of coming towards where we don't want it. I could cut it all the way back or cut it back to these two leaves and hopefully this one pops out, but I almost don't want to do that. I almost want to cut it all the way off. But you know, for insurances, we won't. We'll just cut it back to two leaves and we'll see how it buds. If we could use those buds, perfect. If we can't, cut it back later. I mean, who cares? Also, I haven't done this to this tree, but every year, like during mid spring or late spring, I go in here and clean out because a lot of the inside branches, just like the older ones, just fucking oh sorry, just yellow up and die. It's kind of coming along. I'm gonna wire these branches down, like I said. See, this is what I meant. Could you see? You see these branches right here? Oh, oh, these branches, they weren't there before. So we had nothing here. It was blank. And that was like that for 3 years. For 3 years, I was hoping something's going back bud right there. So they're not always going back bud where you want. So I waited 3 years and I saw it was never going to back bud there. So I decided to bring one of the branches that were a little higher down. And it's actually not horrible. It's not like it wasn't too high up. It was just kind of perfect to where I brought it down, and it stayed down, right? So yeah, we'll wire these other little branches, and this is kind of all we're gonna do to this tree for today. This tree definitely has more of a young of a youngster vibe, right? It doesn't look like a super old tree. Now is that bad? I kind of I don't know, but I kind of also don't care. I like the way this tree's looking, and do all trees have to look super old? I mean, you know, in life, there's actually young trees out there. It's not just old trees. Yeah. Another reason why it's important to wire every single thing you want to in the beginning stage like that is because once you start getting a bunch of branches, it's even harder and harder to wire. Like to get in the for a show hand size, you know, to get in there. I mean, me, I kind of have fat fingers, so maybe it's harder for me, but it's pretty hard to get in there when you want to wire a tree, which is why, like I said, I use copper wire a lot. It helps a lot. Okay, we'll wire these down. These are also going to get cut back though, but I'm just leaving them so you guys can see what I'm trying to say, right? So these, well, this one, they were going up. So I'll put a little bit of wire on them. This one actually, I'm not a huge fan of, but we're gonna leave it for now. Wire these down. I'm gonna wire this. It's actually somewhere around there. And let's cut it back now, just so we can kind of get an idea. Never cut after your wire, and never cut with the same. Don't ever cut a branch and a wire with your scissors. And this branch is still too. Looks a little too long. Okay, you can kind of see what I mean, sorta, right? You see? Now it's clean. It's a clean line under. No branches. We got these branches. We got some branches right at top, and this little branch up here. And I guess we got this little branch. This little branch that's sticking up. We could also put a little bit of a wire. It's not part of the main branch though. This is more of a. I mean, I guess it could. If we wire it down, we could make it part of the main branch, just like this. Which you know what? I think I'm gonna do. I mean, what's one more wire? What one more wire? Right? We already wired it enough. Cool. Oh, cool. It's this one. So instead of going all the way up, I'll bring it down a little. I might bring it down just a little more. Right? Kind of, sorta. Oh, wait a minute. Cool. Oh no. I'm thinking of wiring another one. Look at this one. See it sticking out? Dude. Either we could cut it back or bring it down. But look, if we do that, look at that. Much better. And there's nothing underneath it, so it's not gonna block any sun from any other branch. In worst case scenario, we'll cut it off later, but for now, we're gonna use it. And like I said, dude, sometimes it's the details, you know what I'm saying? You think you're done with a tree, and sometimes you go take a picture of it, and there's just that one branch is like, bruh. And now we're getting into how hard it is to wire a shohen when you have tons of branches. But if there's a will, there's a way. I mean, it seems like I'm doing a lot, but out of this whole tree, I mean, I never counted how many branches this tree has. It has quite a lot of branches, and I'm literally only wiring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 branches, which seems like a lot, but this thing has probably like, I don't know, close to 100 branches, maybe, hopefully. Uh,
The question is, how do you know what gauge of wire?
Me personally, I do this trick sometimes when I don't know, because most of the time I kind of have an idea. I do this weird trick that I learned when I first started, and it's just literally grab the wire and then touch the branch and see if the branch moves. If it moves, then this piece of wire can move it. If the wire would have been like this, then it definitely wouldn't move it. If that makes any sense. That's the only thing that I know. But at this point, you kind of get the feel for it.
So if you're liking these trees, Cesar's also, he's doing a workshop at the Rendezvous, Olives, of course, on Saturday afternoon.
Yep. I will be doing a workshop and another
And
demo.
he's doing an educational seminar on Friday
Yeah.
as well.
We'll see how that goes. Took me a lot longer than it should to wire that branch piece because it was really hard to get in there. Cool. This branch, we're just gonna bring it down just a little bit. Maybe that's too much. I'm actually gonna bring this. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, that's much better. Look at that. This tree, as you can see, still needs to fill up right here, which is what we've been doing with this branch, this back branch. So in a year, this tree should be full right here, and then it'll just be clip and grow, basically, kind of, sort of. But yeah, I don't like how empty it is here. But that happened because I waited too long. You know what I'm saying? If I would have done this sooner, I would have had this filled out. But it's all right. We have other trees to work on while we wait for this one. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know. The wiring could have been better, but I'm under pressure, and it's okay for now. You know? Yeah.